of the times when you get that call or somebody says to you, hey, I'm thinking about buying a house, you ask a few basic questions, you throw them in the car, and then you go start looking at houses. But what if we took the time to just stop for a second and ask a few more questions? Sit down for a complete buyer interview so that we can fully understand what these buyers want and make sure that they have the clarity to commit to a property. I mean, the last thing you want to have happen is you show a bunch of houses to a buyer and you find out it's actually not what they really want, or you find out that they can't actually afford to purchase the home that they love. So I definitely highly recommend sitting down for a complete buyer interview, but here are a few of my favorite questions to ask a buyer before going and looking at homes. And for reference here, I'm looking at the Ninja Selling buyer interview process here, which is a fantastic way to guide your buyers. So if you haven't picked up a copy of Larry Kendall's book, Ninja Selling, go get one on Amazon. I'll put a link down below and you can go buy it. The buyer process is right in there. So I'm just pulling a few of my favorite questions from that here. One of my favorites here to start off is when you ask somebody who has bought a home before and has worked with a real estate agent before, you ask them, well, how did that process work for you? Is there anything that you would like to change this time around? So often do we just start to put our clients into our process, which if you have a good process, it's going to work, but why don't we find out what about their last experience worked well for them or didn't work out well for them? Because if we remind them of that prior experience while we're working with them, they're not going to have a good time. So let's make sure we know what that is up front. Another one of my favorite questions here is the scale of 1 to 10 question, and it works like this. On a scale of 1 to 10, just for fun, tell me where you think you are in the buyer process, with 1 being just at the beginning, just getting started, just starting to think about buying a home, and 10 being we're ready to write a check today and sign a contract. Once the buyer gives their answer, then you can ask a follow-up question of, well, what would it take for you to be a 10? And now you're going to get all of the information that you need to help them get towards that clarity point where they're ready to commit. And if I just have to pick a few questions, the last one that I would choose would be what's and why's, or what we call the pieces of paper exercise. And this is where you have your buyer sit down by themselves. So if you have a couple of people, or maybe it's 3 people, however many people are going to be the decision makers, you have them write down on a list of paper all the things that they want in a house, and then star their top 3 items. And then they have to explain to you why those 3 items at the top of the list, because people buy their whys moreover than their whats. And if you know what the whys are, and if they know what the whys are, you'll be able to find that perfect home. The last thing you want to do is have somebody say, yeah, we need a 4-bedroom house, and it turns out that they really just need a 3-bedroom plus an office. While you're out there searching for that 4-bedroom house, they go to an open house for a 3-bedroom plus a den, and they buy it. We definitely do not want to be in that situation. So remember, those are a few of my favorite buyer questions, and you want to go over these things before you get in the car and start driving around and looking at houses. If you guys want to do the full buyer interview process, I highly recommend picking up a copy of Ninja Selling. If you want to go to a Ninja installation, those are great too, but start with the book, dive in, see if that process is something that works for you, and then go crush it with your buyers. Have a great day. We'll see you later.